What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jeremy Park and today we're going to be talking about living with alopecia. As you guys know, I have alopecia and yeah man, it's been a struggle, but I'm going to get into a little field workout and yeah, we'll talk more into it in a little bit, but let me get a sweat. Here we go, boys. So we're getting into the story, the question that everyone's asking. How did I get my hair back? The truth is, I got a hair transplant. Nah, I'm just fucking with you guys. Of course not. I'm a natural, holistic guy. Everything that happens to us can be cured holistically through the peace of mind, and obviously you might need some sort of medicine in some cases, but I believe for most of your problems in life you can figure it out with the peace of mind. So I just worked out and kind of want to just take the camera through the day and explain to you guys the story, when it started, how it started, and all that jazz. So where do we begin? It all started when I was 13 years old and my grandfather passed away. This was probably one of the big turning points or events that occurred. Never had someone die in my family or someone close to me up until 13, and I guess that just shocked me. But this was only really small in just like the back of my head. I'm sure if you've seen anyone with alopecia, you've seen the little coin-sized holes in the back of their head. So it started when I was 13, but it never got crazy where I needed to shave my head or anything. It was only little spots. You're probably wondering, what is alopecia areata? It is a stress-induced hair loss. So the way I like to explain it is when my cortisol levels are really high, which is when I'm really stressed out, it kind of builds this liquid all over my body that kind of blockades any of my hair follicles. So there's this liquid just not letting my hair push out through the scalp, through the pores and everything. So literally, if it is a drastic alopecia just trigger, my whole body will just literally shed all of its hair off, from my toes all the way up to my hair. So yes, I did not have any, you guessed it, yes. But yeah, you guys now know what alopecia is, and it's just an autoimmune disease pretty much. Yeah, I believe it was a blessing in disguise, because without alopecia I wouldn't be humbled, one, or I wouldn't know when to stop or when to redirect my life, you know, because obviously it's a stress-induced thing. So if I do go bald, it's because something in my life is really triggering me and really holding me down. So it allows me to kind of reconnect and just take a few steps back to really think about where I'm at in life. And we'll get more into obviously the story and everything, but yeah, that's kind of what alopecia is and where it began. All right, we just got back to the cribbo, and we're gonna fuel up before I get into, I'm just gonna fuel up before the lift. I'll take you through a little steak clinic, show you guys how I cook my steaks. But what we were talking about before was pretty much what alopecia was, the beginning stages, when it happened, and things like that. But we'll get into kind of the first alopecia universal stage, and that is when it all fell out and I had to shave my head. And yeah, that was a crazy, crazy time in my life for sure. First, we're gonna let this steak thaw out in the nice hot Jersey sun. It was in the fridge, but we don't want to cook a steak when it comes right out of the fridge if we want it perfectly cooked. So we're letting the sun do its thing right now, and then we're gonna pop it onto a really steaming hot grill. I let this thing get all the way up to like 500, 600, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then we toss that puppy on. The grill is definitely ready, so we're gonna pop her open. We stuck a little bit of butter here just so it gets nice and charred, and boom, just like that, she's on. We're going for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes on one side. Bon appetit. The food is ready, but I think I'm gonna set you guys down right here. I'm gonna talk to you guys while I eat, and we'll get on with the story. So fast forward from 13 to around 19. Never really had any crazy alopecia problems, just small little dots here and there. But come 19 years old, I was in college, partying, drinking, doing the whole just frat boy lifestyle, and I was having a blast. Made a lot of friends, joined the frat. All my homies were the boys. They still are the boys. Shout out to you guys. Honestly, without them, I wouldn't be where I am today, because they helped secure me, they helped harness me, and they were just real ones. And I'll talk more about that later on in the story. But come 19 years old, it's the night of Black Friday, and you know, I'm just getting into a little funny business, you know. Back then, right now, marijuana is recreationally used, and it's not that big of a deal, but a couple years ago, marijuana was a big deal. Long story short, your boy got in trouble with the law, and you know, it was not my proudest moment, but we prevailed, and yeah, that was kind of really the strongest hit of stress that I felt at 19 years old. The biggest worry I had was telling my parents. I honestly remember the exact moment where I walked up to my mom and I was like, "Mom, I'm in some deep shit," and yeah, I was literally shaking. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to say it, but I just ripped it off like a band-aid and did what any son would do and just asked for forgiveness and everything like that. But anyways, that happened, which resulted, I believe, in the first universalis, I don't know, when all my hair started coming out, and this was in November. So December, January, February, so February into March, when I was in my second semester, junior year of college, is when it really struck. All I could remember is just waking up with a pillow full of hair. If I was in the shower, literally just running my hands through my hair, finding it in my fingers, and I'm like, dude, what is going on? I am 19 years old, 20 years old, like, this should not be happening to me. I am not balding. Like, I've had a full head of my hair my whole entire life. Like, I was starstruck, I was baffled, and not to mention, it was my second semester, first week back at college, junior year, ready to just rage, and this is happening to me while I'm moving in and everything. So it was just like, I couldn't believe what was going on. And I'm sorry if this is all rambling and jumbled up, but I'm just trying to speak to you with real words and how I feel in the current moment about the past. So it gets emotional, and definitely it's a roller coaster ride that I endured and I'm still going through. I'm gonna try and put in some videos and photos right now of the first time I shaved my head. Shout out to the boy, Mark Bernatchez. We came home one night, drunk from a party, and I was like, dude, I can't take it anymore. All my roommates knew about it. All my fraternity brothers, everyone knew kind of about it. The people closest to me, and I was talking to him, and I was in my feels, and I'm like, dude, I can't take it anymore. I just want to shave my head. And he looked at me, and he's like, man, I'm with you for that. I'll be here every step of the way. And I just remember that first shave, well, I was just like, dude, this is really happening right now. I'm going bald. Like, I'm about to have to rock the bald look all of college. We did it. You just saw the video and everything. And yeah, crazy. I still remember that moment to this day, because that's probably one of the most pivotal times of my entire life. That feeling in the chair in my college bathroom, just like in disbelief and kind of drunk. But anyways, we shaved my head, and yeah, pretty much everybody knows yo, Jay Park just shaved his head. Like, what's the deal with that? Is something wrong with him? Did he just want to do it? The people like in other frats, or just people that saw me at the gym, obviously had questions and stuff, but right off the bat, I was kind of just like, dude, guys, I have this disorder, this disease, like, it's called alopecia, and I tried to explain it, and what really helped me the most was surrounding myself with people that genuinely cared about me and didn't care about my looks, my appearance, my hair, whatever it was. Nobody really made it a difference, you know, and that's what really stuck to me, and that's the one thing that helped me. Definitely in that first phase, I definitely had a lot more learning to do, but I was surrounded by a really, really good group of guys, a good group of people, and loving friends. Don't get me wrong though, I was struggling. I wore hats every single day of college. After I shaved my head, I went to class with a hat, I went to parties with a hat. I would have to go to the mall and just buy new hats because I didn't want to keep wearing the same hats. And honestly, wearing a hat all the time sucks. It really, really sucks. It's tight on your head. I feel like I'm never showing my face. Hats are for like people that want to like stay low key. And I'm not that type of person. I'm an outspoken. I'm a very social guy, and it was really fucking with me because like walking around with the hat all the time and always needing a hat or whatever, like it was just not me. It wasn't who I was, but at the time it was. I had no control over my mind. It was my body and my mind were taking over my soul pretty much, and they were just telling me like, dude, you are going through a really stressful time. You need to change something. So during this semester, I was in my head a lot. I was always in my room. I was thinking so hard, and this is when I had my Instagram page. It was still in its early stages. I was about a year or two into it, and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna share my story how it is, tell it how it is to these people in the world. And as soon as I started opening up about it, it started to feel better. If I spoke about it, if I wrote about it, if I did anything to share it, it felt really, really good to me. It didn't feel like I was wearing a hat anymore. You know, wearing a hat, like I said, it felt like I was shading myself from the world, and that's not who I was. So opening up to it was one of the biggest things ever. So surrounding yourselves with people that genuinely care about you, and then opening up to it was the next step to it all. So I started sharing it on socials. I remember making the first post of me having the shaved head and explaining to everybody exactly what it was. A lot of people showed me a lot of love, and then I started seeing the alopecia community. People started reaching out to me. People started, you know, messaging me how to help, what to do, different remedies and things like that, which was really relieving because now I was starting to get help from people and see different outlooks of other people that had the same condition and were going through the same thing as me. But there was this one thing that really helped me the most, and it was interning for this guy named Devin LeVake. Devin LeVake, if you're watching this, man, you helped me change my life around. You showed me how big the world was. You just showed me life, man. Like, life isn't at all about school, and what was really stressing me out too was school. I wasn't doing too hot, and it was just almost like someone just gifted me this opportunity. So I started working in New York City for this guy named Devin LeVake. He was a fitness influencer, around like 40K, not too big at all yet, and he needed help with content creation, videography, YouTube, and things like that. And I grew up filming a lot of my life and filming, and just I was already in the Instagram game, so I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. I'll try to help this guy out, and we'll see where it takes me. And this took me to meet the craziest people, Arya Stark, all these famous people. Victoria's Secret models were coming into this gym that I was working at, Performix House. This place literally gave me life. When I walked into there, it wasn't all about drinking, boozing, partying, and all of that nonsense. It was about building real connections, meeting real people, and just really building relationships and connections that matter the most. And I've met the most amazing people in there. Shout out to you, Gabe Snow. Gabe Snow was the homie. He was someone I fell back to, and he saw me going through it, and he really helped and mentored me as well through the whole journey. But I was pretty much bald through the process. I was working in New York for 2 years, and I was bald for maybe like a year of it, and then all of a sudden I started seeing more hair sprout while I was there, and I'm like, guys, this is what I like. This is making me happy. I don't feel happy in school, so I dropped out. I dropped out of school. I did the unthinkable. I started a business with Devin. We started it together. I was delivering meal preps. If you guys remember Don't Be a Pig, it was a meal prep company based in New York City, and yeah, we were just delivering really healthy food to people. And I also was building out their Instagram account. I made these really cool funny videos with the pink background and everything. And I'll try to get screenshots and stuff of all that stuff that I was doing, but this was making me happy, creating content and building real relationships. So my hair started sprouting, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, a couple months later, I have not a healthy head of hair, big patches in the back of my hair, but I had the top of my hair, which is really, really exciting for me because I didn't have any hair for like a year and a half. So this was a big, big step, and I'm like, guys, my hair's coming back, it's ready to come. But with any job, any work, anything, stress comes back. Stress strikes back. And despite all the great opportunities, the amazing mentors, and the things I was doing in my new workplace in New York City, it comes a time where sometimes relationships really can break you down over time. So I'm the type of person that doesn't like to be told what to do. I like to run on my own schedule, and I like to be doing whatever I want to do at this specific time. And yes, I was learning and I was like a sponge, but it came to a point where my sponge was filled. I took in a lot of knowledge, and I just wanted to break off and do what I wanted to do. But in that time, there was a period of stress, maybe 6 or 7 months, where I was really stressed out working in New York City, and my hair fell out again. I had to shave it again. So I had hair, I shaved it, I went to work in New York City, it grew back a little bit, then I got stressed out, and then I had to shave it again. So I'm like, dude, what is going on right now? Why can't I catch a break? I want my hair back. What is going on? And I realized it's these big stressful times that just wreck me and just break me down. So I took the biggest leap of faith, and I X'd another big opportunity. So first it was school, dropped out of that, started working in New York City, found out I loved it, whatever, started stressing me out. Came to a point where they were renewing my contract, and we were writing up proposals and stuff, and I shot them a really, really big number because I wanted to do my own thing. I said, this is the number I need for you guys to keep me and keep working for you guys. But if not, I'm going down south to Miami with my best friend, Eric Thomas, and that's exactly what I did. They didn't accept the proposal. It was definitely too big of a number, but I was very happy with that. So I got into my car, drove down to Miami with my best friend, and this was actually when my TikTok started rolling. On my drive down to Miami, I hit 100K, and this is when I knew, on that drive, I knew this is exactly what I wanted to do. I was still bald, I was still prevailing, but I was known as Saitama, One Punch Man on TikTok. All the kids knew me as that, and they would just flood my comments with One Punch Man. So we're on this drive down to Miami, and this is when I clicked. I'm like, I'm just gonna push my personal brand. This is making me the happiest. So I'm in Miami. We're killing it, we're lifting, we're making gains, and whatever. I'm traveling, I'm visiting the coolest places. I visit Tulum for the first time, and then quarantine hits. Everybody was stressed out, everybody didn't know what was happening. It was one of the scariest moments in world history. Nothing like this ever happened before. You guys don't know, but the quarantine was a period where they said it would only be 2 weeks, then it turned into a month, then it turned into 2 months, then it turned into the whole summer, then it turned into a fucking year. But in that quarantine time, my hair started to sprout a little bit. I was honestly killing it. My TikTok was booming, everything was coming, everything was thriving. And my hair started to sprout again, but in the same way, it only came in patches, and the top of my hair came. And there was one really big spot right here that just like, my hair wasn't healthy for sure. But yeah, I tried to let it grow a little bit, yada, yada, yada. And then I was in Miami for a little bit. Then we fast forward to like June, July, I come back home to New Jersey with my family, and all of a sudden again, it just starts falling out. So this is the third time my hair is falling out after it comes back maybe 65, 70%. Now I'm like, really, what is going on? I can't catch a break. I literally thought I controlled my alopecia, I controlled my stress, I controlled my thing twice now, and this is the third time. So what I do again, I shave it. And this time, after I shave it, I am so embracing of it. I'm spreading it all over my TikTok. I'm letting people know this is what I have, this is what I'm living with, and I'm not afraid to show it. So this time around, I'm like, you know what? Bald is who I am, bald is who I'm gonna be. I don't even want hair anymore. I'm just gonna be this guy. I'm gonna play this character, and we're just gonna run with it. I also met an amazing girl who is now my girlfriend. She's absolutely beautiful. I'm traveling with her. I'm doing a lot of things. And as you know it, all of a sudden it starts sprouting, coming, it's coming. And next thing you know, it is the most, I shaved my head. I didn't care if it was sprouting. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep shaving it. I'm gonna keep shaving it. I'm gonna keep shaving it. And it got to a point where the full top of my head had no patches whatsoever. The sides were starting to come down a little bit. I'll try to get more photos, more visuals for you guys right now in these little side bots. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's time to try again. I haven't seen my scalp with this many hair follicles on the top of my head. And you know what? I was like, it's worth a shot. It can't hurt. So we're growing it, and we got it. So this is literally the third time around, and we're here now. We grew out the hair. It's super long, and it's been January 11th was when I came back from Hawaii, and I think that was one of the last times I shaved my head, and now I'm just letting it grow out. I got a few haircuts. I sat in the barber seat, but before I did that, I was actually giving myself my own fades, and that was very interesting because sometimes I just F it up really, really bad. But now we're here. We got the hair, and I could genuinely say I'm in a really different headspace. I'm definitely maturing. I still have a lot more to learn. I know who I am, I know who I want to be, but there's always things I can improve. So now that you guys know the whole entire story of the last couple of years of my life to bring me to where I am right now, I want to talk about what really helped me. How did I cure my alopecia? How did I overcome it? Everyone and their mothers was always DMing me, telling me to get cortisol shots, to do this, to do that, to rub my head with something. But what really helps is finding everything about yourself from within. Because if your mind, if your body, if your soul isn't healthy, you will not overcome this autoimmune disorder. Because if you do not know how to cope with your stress, cope with anger, cope with anything related to stress and cortisol, it will always come back. So you need to find that trigger, and you need to know how to cope with it. What I did was I found what I loved, and I just did it every single day. I found passions, I found hobbies, and I found new skills that I wanted to learn. I'm a very hyperactive kid, so what I've realized is if I'm not always constantly learning, if I'm not always constantly doing something, my mind can go elsewhere and I will just explode. So what I did in the past year was pick up skateboarding. Now I'm doing boxing. I was doing bodybuilding way before. I still bodybuild. Now I go into all different types of training. I'm trying to surf as much as I can. I'm trying to travel as much as I can. I'm trying to see the world and do things that I love and only love. Because in this life, we're only given one shot and one shot only. So if you're spending this second right now doing something that you really don't like, please take a step back. We live in a society right now where people are just chasing the checks, and they're just doing things and being robots and just not providing value to their community. They're just one entity or corporation wants them to do. This life is amazing, and I've realized that we can do anything we want in life. This is the most amazing thing in the world. So alopecia was a blessing in disguise for me. It was the most awakening experience of my life. It allowed me to really dig deep, figure out who I was, and now I know exactly what I want to do, and I'm so blessed and so fortunate that I have all of you guys following me, because without you guys, my lifestyle wouldn't be where it is today. But in my mind, I always knew where I am at right now is where I would be, and where I'm going to be in 3, 4, 5 years is exactly what I'm going to imagine from right this second. So if you can take away anything from this video, is to just believe in yourself and not care what other people think. Surround yourself with the people that you love and do things you love every single day. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. That is everything. I really hope you guys like the video. I hope you guys can subscribe, because a lot more videos are coming, and comment something that maybe you took away from this. And I just really appreciate all of your support, guys. I'm gonna try and keep up with these weekly uploads. This one definitely is a little bit of a deeper talk and a get to know me video. And yeah, I'm really enjoying doing these videos too, so I think I'm finding my rhythm, I'm finding my groove. Guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace, love you guys.